Is that true? Can you give me the card? Does anyone know Jaya Radha Madhava? No? Somebody knows. Okay, we'll try. There's a beautiful bhajan. You know, like, I take it there's lots of people who are new to Hare Krishna. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's exciting. It's a very good opportunity. So we sing, you know, they say it's singing religion. Sometimes they say it's dancing religion, or it's kitchen religion sometimes even, because, you know, Hare Krishnas like to sing. Of course, they don't just sing for their pleasure, they sing for the pleasure of Krishna. And they dance for the pleasure of Krishna. And they also eat for the pleasure of Krishna. Because they offer their food to Krishna first, and then it becomes sanctified food. We call it prasadam. Prasadam is mercy. When we eat sanctified food that is offered to the Lord, it comes to us as mercy, and then we get purified through this process. Kitchen religion. Bless you. It's true. So also what happens when we sing together in Kirtan or we eat prasadam, anything we do in Krishna consciousness purifies us of the sins we might have created. Sometimes we think we don't create any sins, but most of us do. Also, we believe in our philosophy that it is the living soul that is in every one of us. It doesn't belong to here. It doesn't belong to material world. It belongs to the spiritual world. And it needs to get liberated. How do you get liberated? If you have accumulated hills, mountains of karma in our previous lives. Of course, there's reincarnation, which is described in the Holy Scriptures. There's reincarnation. The soul never dies. Krishna says it himself in the Bhagavad-gita. You can't destroy it, but it just, life after life, it just goes through this wheel of samsara, you know? Life after life after life, changing the body, depending on the deeds that this living being performs in a particular body. Anyway, enough of that, let's sing a little bit. There is a reason why we call it singing religion. I hope you can sing along, feel free. It's a beautiful bhajan. It was written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the, let's say, we call him great grandfather of our movement, because the movement, the Hare Krishna movement, it's not something new. It's an old, very old tradition that is being brought to the West by Srila Prabhupada, our Acharya and the founder of International Society of Krishna Consciousness. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the father of the Guru Maharaj, of the spiritual teacher of Srila Prabhupada. So he wrote this song. It's called Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya is, of course, like all glories, you know, we celebrate. And what do we celebrate in this song? We celebrate the loving relationship of Krishna with his devotees. And it happens, of course, in Vrindavan, in the Holy Land, where Krishna, 5,000 ago, he came himself in a human body, just like you and I, and he performed his wonderful pastimes. This all happened in Vrindavan, in India. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jai Hare, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jai Hare, Jai Hare. Okay, so we've chosen a very interesting topic for today, and the topic is called, Can you beat karma? Does everybody know what karma is? Can you explain what karma is?
Me?
You. Yeah.
Whatever good or bad you do in your time on earth, and whatever good or bad is done to you, and how your actions are going to affect how the world reacts to you.
Right. Very good. You've summed it up. Does anyone wants to add something to this? No? So anyway, the reason why I chose this topic is because I've been revisiting the beautiful book called Srimad Bhagavatam. Has anyone heard about this book, Srimad Bhagavatam? Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful. It's a collection of lots of volumes, like 12 volumes. And it's a collection of stories about Krishna devotees, pretty much. And the reason why it's in stories, sometimes people say, oh, you Hare Krishnas, you just write. Beautiful. So, the reason, but why stories? Why stories? Because you see, we all live now in a pretty terrible time. It's called Kali Yuga. Yeah, do you know about the yugas? Have you heard about the yugas? That in the Vedas it is explained that life it's not linear, like we learn at school. It's not just started someday and then it just goes like that. No, the Vedic scriptures it is explained that life is cyclical. Cyclical or cyclical? Cyclical. Cyclical. So at some point the material world is created, sometime it goes on, it is explained exactly for how long it goes on in the Vedic scriptures, and then in Srimad Bhagavatam as well, in Bhagavad-gita as well, and then it finishes. And then for some time there's no activity, there's no material world, and then at some point again, the material world is created, goes on, gets destroyed, like that, So, and during this period, let's say, of existence of the material creation, the life goes in cycles. It starts with a beautiful time, which is called Satya Yuga. It's very long, like 4,200,000, I believe. And every living being that lives at that time is a Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa means a very elevated person, renounced, And in Satya Yuga, it is explained that living beings, humans, they live 100,000 years ago. And then there's Treta Yuga. And Treta Yuga, it may sound incredible, but when you read about it and you kind of try to understand the crux of it, you kind of say, yeah, that actually makes sense, because I had a problem with 100,000 years, that humans live. But then later on, kind of came to understand this. Anyway, Treta Yuga, and then the people, and in Satya Yuga, the humans, they are under the influence of the energy of Krishna, which is called sattva. Sattva means goodness. It's a mode of goodness, and that's why mode of goodness it maintains. When the mode of goodness is like when you get up to a certain period of time early, you do your activity slowly without, hurrying up, with no anxiety, things like that. You go to bed early, you have spiritual life, all of that, that's sattva. In Treta Yuga already, sattva decreases. Another energy comes to play, it's called rajas. Rajas is passion, living beings who are more passionate, they come to life, because that means like karmically, it's time for them to get born again. So they get born and but because the mode of sattva, the mode of goodness reduces, people live shorter lives, 10,000 years. And then there's Dvapara Yuga. Dvapara Yuga is the time when the sattva, diminishes again for a quarter, and then rajas is less because the mode of tamas, which is darkness and ignorance, comes into play. So there you go. Then in Dvapara Yuga, all this kind of equal, and then and because again mode of goodness diminishes, becomes less, then people live less. 1,000 years people live in Dvapara Yuga. But how long do we live? We live maximum is 100 years, right? And then some people live, they say, to 120 or whatever, but that's very rare. Most of the people don't even live to 70 sometimes, or 80. If they live up to 80 or 90, they most of the time now in a kind of vegetable state, But anyway, and why is that? Why am I talking about Srimad Bhagavatam in this context? Because this age is called Kali Yuga. Kali is the age of fight, and quarrel, and we can see what's happening now. You can hardly travel. You don't even know in what country tomorrow another war will start. It's just terrible, isn't it? It just says exactly like it says in the Holy Scripture. It's the age of quarrel and fight, and people, their godly qualities, their good qualities diminish. You can actually observe, if you're very attentive, you can observe how the human good qualities in people diminish. You're probably maybe too young to notice that. But whoever is older, they notice. I notice, even here, people in Ireland, they were the reason why. I'm from Russia. The reason why I stayed here in this country, because I was blown away. My husband was kind of headhunted. He's a scientist, so he came to here, and I tagged along with, because we're family now. So anyway, and I could see, the reason why I would stay, because the Irish people literally blew us away with their kindness and attention and support that they're giving to us for nothing. For example, the landlord, our landlord, she, for the whole month, we came at a very unfortunate time, we didn't know, just before Christmas, and we couldn't even rent a car. This was in 1999, all the cars were taken, so we were without a car in a country where public transport, we know, not very good. Sorry, it's true. You probably know that. But anyway, and she, our landlord, she was, every few days she was coming, in a car, say, okay, let's go, we'll do some shopping, And I was, no, I can walk, no, we go. She'd do that. The school principal, he's again, I'm from Russia, where children walk to schools, no one drives. Now it's different, of course. But in those days, when I was growing my children, they would walk to school, So they walk to school, and then the principal will bring them back in a car. And I'm like, please don't do this. Oh, no, it's lovely. For a few months until we got a car, he was doing that, Not a few months. No, once we got the car, he stopped. But things like that, and people like that. But recently, the reason why I'm saying that the good qualities diminish is that recently I was giving my neighbor, she's an elderly lady, 84, Jackie. I was giving her a lift to her friend, who's also elderly, almost blind, cannot get out of the house. So I just wanted them to meet, as friends. So anyway, I was dropping her to the neighborhood I didn't know, and then he said okay, turn now. So, and then I missed the turn, and then it's a very small village where I live. It's a small village. And then I stopped trying to figure out, how do? I reverse, I do this. I'm quite slow in driving. So, and immediately the 3 cars behind me started beeping, the moment I stopped, they started it never happened before in Ireland, never happened before, to me anyway. And it's such a small town, it's not Dublin, it's nothing. I was surprised. So and also when we came in 1999, if you come to if you're passing in the car, if you're passing by a church, there would be no place like there would be all the road all the parking would be taken like alongside the road. People would come to the church in buckets. Do you remember this time?
Oh, yeah.
So everyone will come Sunday. Everyone will come to the church. Now that the churches are empty. No, I'm not trying to we know the reasons why it happened, but still, it doesn't really matter why it happened, but it happened. Because, as I said, it is Kali Yuga, the good qualities of people diminish. So in this book, that book, Srimad Bhagavatam, I am going to tell a story from that book. It's written for the people of Kali Yuga, who because of their memory capacity has diminished in the previous yugas. There's still in India people who can recite, it's a Bhagavad-gita by memory, But in those days, in the previous yugas, there would be sages who could, by memory, recite the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam, the four Vedas, and there was no need for calligraphy, for writing, really. Like we kind of think and this is what we learn in school, that it's a progress, the humans progress to writing and books and things. No, it is explained in the Vedas, it's the other way around. There was no need for writing in the previous eras because the memory of the people was completely different. You could hear whatever you hear, you remember forever. You will never forget that kind of memory. So anyway, because the memory and all the good qualities in people diminish, that's why the book Srimad Bhagavatam is written for the people like us who live in Kali Yuga, whose memory is very, very short, and who cannot understand the Vedas and the Vedanta Sutra and things like that. But we can understand stories. So I'm going to start with telling you a beautiful story. One of the stories from Srimad Bhagavatam, because the reason why I chose this and that topic, because it's that story that kind of prompted me to talk about karma, whether you can beat it. Because karma could sometimes be very heavy. Do you agree? Sometimes life becomes very hard. Okay, so we all agree on that. So anyway, the story in Srimad Bhagavatam, it's from the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's in the 19th chapter. It is described that there was this king, his name was Prithu Maharaj. He was an avatar of Krishna. He was not an avatar, he is Shakti Avesh avatar. He was a human being just like you and me, but he has special energy, Shakti, given from Krishna himself to fulfill a particular function. So he comes, because at that point when he appeared, the situation was pretty bad. There was a king, King Venu, who was a very bad king. He wanted to stop all the sages to do the yagyas. The yagyas are sacrifices, because through the sacrifices in the old days, people would talk to the higher forces, so to speak, to the demigods, to the that's how in the Vedas people lived. They would perform those yagyas, and through those yagyas they could communicate with the higher forces. But King Venu was so corrupted that he stopped that. He just thought, okay, you're not reading the scriptures correctly. I am God. It's actually, there is a saying also, like in the Vedas, that the king, he is like a representative of God, but if he's a saintly king. But that king, Venu, was not saintly. But anyway, so Krishna sends this Shakti Avesh avatar called Prithu Maharaj, who straightens things out, and everything becomes very, very nice in his kingdom. And there's enough and plenty of everything. So he restored the situation because he was a saintly king. And also because previously this King Venu, he didn't want to do, he forbade all the sages to do those yagyas. That corrupted he was. So that's why Maharaj Prithu, he wanted to do 100 sacrifices, and it's Ashvametka Yagya, a particular sacrifice which is called a horse sacrifice. In the Vedic times, they were not just killing animals, for a sacrifice. The sages, they could pronounce the mantras so clearly, and they knew specific mantras that restored, that gave the animal that was being sacrificed actually got a new life, a better body, a younger body. It's a whole science around it. I don't want to go into this, but I'm just saying those sacrifices were particular sacrifices to please the demigods and to please the Adi-yagya, the Krishna himself, because that was the way of humans to get, the good karma, and to please the Lord. That was the. So anyway, and in doing that, everything was going well. Yagya, it's beautiful, beautiful yagya. Everything is happy, and then they have actually the Ashwamedha yagya. It's an interesting thing. They take a white horse. Specifically, it's described exactly how the white horse is to be. I think there's one black ear or something. Has to be completely white, very special horse, and then it just goes loose. He walks on the land, and then the army of the emperor goes behind him, and then if he comes to a different land, let's say different country that does not belong to that king yet, or is not in his domain, then he either surrenders to that the king of that particular country either surrenders to the emperor or fights, So anyway, thus the king kind of gets other kings under his domain, and then because he's a saintly king, he looks after all the countries like that. So King Prithu, he was the king on the whole earth, by the way. So anyway, during the sacrifice, King Indra, does everybody know who King Indra is?
Keeper of the heaven.
Yes, he's a keeper, and he's the king of the heavens, so to speak. He rules all the demigods, who are just like administrators of the material. It's still material world, but they're demigods, are special, very, very elevated human beings who live in sattva, which I described earlier in the mode of goodness, and they all serve as administrators. Varuna serves as administrator of waters, oceans and seas and rivers and all that, and Agni is the demigod of fire, like that. King Indra got jealous because he thought, okay, this king, this Maharaj, he just wants to take my place, because whoever performs 100 Ashwamedha sacrifices can become Indra, So anyway, he gets jealous, and he steals the horse. He steals the horse, and then the son of Maharaja Prithu returns the horse, and then Indra steals the horse again. And in doing so, he dresses himself up as a sannyasi, as a sage, and because the king of Maharaja Prithu cannot kill him, because he's a saintly person. And anyway, it happens like that 3 times. And then Maharaja Prithu thinks, who is this? Who is doing this? Like, why? Like, I'm a good king. And because I'm doing all these yagyas, everything, all the demigods are happy, and the citizens of the earth are going to be happy because the demigods are happy. Who is daring to steal the horse? So he, and one of the sages, Atri Muni, he explained, this is Indra, don't be fooled. It's not a sannyasi, it's not a sage, it's not a sannyasis, they're like renounced monks, and they wear orange clothes like that. And then he said, this is just Indra in a disguise, so the sannyasi, kill him. So Maharaja Prithu, takes his bow and he wants to kill. And at that moment, Lord Brahma, the creator of this universe, he appears and he says, stop it, just don't do it. Anyway, so what's the morale of that story? The morale of that story is that sometimes, when you get, King Parikshit became a little bit, under the mode of fashion, and he thought, okay, he was overdoing, so to speak, and he did not see that there's another force that is now trying to stop him, and this force is Daiva, is a transcendental force. So that we know, because we're talking about karma, we think most of the time that it is us who are doing things, right? We do or not do things. We are the doer. Well, in Bhagavad-gita, Krishna explains, no, you're not the doer. There are 5 factors of any action. Does anyone know it from Bhagavad-gita? What are the 5 factors of any action, of any activity? Nobody seems to remember. Okay. Krishna explains it. He says, 1 is the kshetra, let's say, the material body in which the action is being performed. Number 2 is the living soul that's in that material body, right? Who mistakenly thinks that he's doing something. And then number 3 is the senses or the instruments. So we need our body to perform an action, right? Then the living entity that's inside that body wants to do something, right? That's number 2. Number 3, we need our instruments or our senses, our mind or our intelligence that figures out how to do. And then number 4 is, where is number 4? His body. Oh, it's the endeavor, cheshta. We need to try, right? When we're doing something, we're trying, that's it. So that's 4 factors. And the 5th factor, which is the main actually factor, is Daiva. Daiva, or the higher forces, To put it simply, it's Krishna, in the form of Paramatma, who is in everyone's heart as a super soul, who is like Upadrashta and Anumanta. He observes and he sanctions. So that's the 5th factor, and it's the most important factor. Because sometimes we think, okay, I'm climb the door, I'll do it, and then we hit a block, and then what happens? We get disappointed. So Krishna says, actually, that in this story, like Lord Brahma says, just stop, don't do this. And it just goes against the grain, especially here, like for any, let's say, Western person. I don't know about how it's in India, but here in the West, that's not welcome. Okay, I want to do it, I do it. And I fight for it if it's very, very important for me, when it's my career, whether it's something else, I fight for it, I do it until I do it. And that's an interesting thing, and this is what is praised in the society, it's like, okay, you have to become a fighter, you do it, you're worth it, do it. But Krishna and in Srimad Bhagavatam it is explained that sometimes when you hit the block, that means that your personal plans do not match the plans of Krishna, do not match the plans of the Daiva, that 5th factor, for some reason, because super soul is in the heart. He knows, for example, you strive to, build a house, and karmically, you probably, you were a warrior or something, or you were burning lots and lots of houses. And look at what's happening in any war now, people's houses get burned, and I actually know quite a few, like Ukrainian devotees who live in Ishra, in our beautiful island, Hare Krishna Island. They don't have any houses back home. It's not like it's, and it's hard. So the reason why I bring this up is like, sometimes, let's say now you want to build a house or whatever, you want a big house, but all you have is a rented apartment. And no matter what you do, you just can't do it, you can't do it. And then that means that karmically, you can't have a big house in this life. But again, as I said, it just goes against the grain in the Western psyche, because in the Western psyche, we promote this do until you get it, But point is that not everyone gets what they want, right? Not everyone wins a gold medal in the Olympics, although everybody tries. But nowadays, it's only about those who win those gold medals people talk about and being praised. But all the others who tried and didn't get it, no one kind of wants to talk about them, which is interesting. So anyway, you might think, well, I don't like this approach, because it's very defeatist, So what do I, okay, so I surrender to Krishna. Okay, let's say I can't have a big house, so I say, okay, it's not I'm not destined to have a house, or I'm not destined in my career to get this, whatever, so I give up, okay, because I'm a surrendered soul. No, it's not like that. You have to try, just like in the story that I said, 3 times. Twice the son of Maharaja Prithu, and then the Maharaj Prithu himself, they tried. They tried to finish the yagya 3 times. And when it didn't work out 3 times, then the Adidaiva, Lord Brahma himself says, okay, stop it. You don't have to have 100 yagyas. 99 is enough. Stop. So what I'm trying to say is that it does not mean, and I'm not trying to say that you have to accept this defeatist position, and don't fight for, good things for yourself or for your family or whatever. No. You have to remember that there's 5 factors in every action. As I said, your body, you have to look after your body. You have so that it's not sick and it's good, it's in good form. Let's say if you're young, you want to build a family, you want to build a good house for your family and good life, even your career. So you endeavor, you use your instruments, your intelligence, your mind, and you endeavor, you do everything you can, and then you also pray, right? and you wait, and basically you do what you have to do. But if you hit the block, and if you, let's say, tried at least 3 times, didn't work out, then you say, okay, maybe my personal plans does not match with the plans of the Lord. That's the approach that is advised to be taken. Also, if we speak, let's say, of the devotees of Krishna, Krishna devotees, they surrender to Krishna and they serve him, and any action that is done in Krishna consciousness, when you surrender the results of your activity to Krishna, all that activity does not have any karma. That's an interesting one, isn't it? So this is also we learn from Bhagavad-gita, when Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Yeah? Just renounce all the religions and just surrender unto me. Why? Because I am going to deliver you from all the sins. Do not fear. Isn't that great? Do not fear. Because this is how our acharyas, and Krishna himself, if we read attentively the Bhagavad-gita, he explains, how you can burn all the sins. So what we sang today, let's say the Kirtan that we sang today, that is a spiritual practice, or japa beads. That activity burns karma. And then also, as I said, any activity that is done in Krishna consciousness, just like you go to work, the devotee of Krishna does not differ from any other person who goes to work. The only thing is that his consciousness is different. He doesn't think, well, I am the enjoyer, I just, whatever I earn, it's all for me, my family, aham mamati paramo. I and mine are the supreme truth, the absolute truth. I don't know if you've heard it. Aham mamati paramo. I and mine is the absolute truth. No, if you renounce this consciousness, if you do any activity in Krishna consciousness as a surrendered soul. Let's say if you work, you get some of the some of your earnings, you share. I mean, you bring to you give to those who are, let's say, the Food for Life, for example, just an example, the Food for Life project that we have here. I don't know if you know about it, but a few devotees, a few times a week, good few times a week, I think 4 or 5, they come out, they cook nice prasadam, they cook nice food, they offer it to Krishna, it becomes prasadam. Prasadam, when you eat prasadam, it purifies you from your sins, your consciousness gets elevated. So, and this food is distributed freely to anyone who wants it. This is a Krishna consciousness action. But whoever, let's say, because everything is done through the sponsorship, people just give money or they bring food, they leave it here, and this is being used as well. So that's this is what it means. Krishna, you share some of the results of your of whatever you earn. You share it either with the people who are Krishna conscious people, let's say renounced people, sannyasis, whoever, who go and preach Krishna consciousness everywhere, or you bring them to the temple, for example. There's lots. As I said, but it's Krishna consciousness. As I said, there's no difference. You don't have to, wear weird clothes or do weird things or not work. No, you just Krishna devotees. They live just any other person. They don't look different and they don't do things differently, but their consciousness is different. Also, sometimes you may say, well, what's with Hare Krishnas? What, they do not get ill? They do not die, or what? Are you so special? No. They also get sick sometimes, but it is also explained in Bhagavad-gita and in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is explained that sometimes when bad things we think about negative things, difficult things happen to devotees of Krishna, of those who are renounced to Krishna, they're not simple reactions. They're actually, like Krishna would personally, he would create situations in their lives where particular hardship or particular stumble block, some very difficult situation. For this difficult situation, the devotee kind of renounce the remnants of their material attachments. Because if you are materially attached to anything or anyone, you can't get liberated. You can't go back to the spiritual world. You'll have to remain here. Even good acts, I had a problem with this actually. Like Krishna also explains in Bhagavad-gita that there are charities in different modes. As I earlier explained, the modes of goodness, the modes of passion, modes of ignorance. So there's also charities in different modes. And I had a problem with that because I thought, okay, so that could be charity which is not connected to Krishna consciousness. So somebody is, helping the sick, cancer-ridden people or something. That's a good deed, isn't it? It is a good deed, but it's not but if that creates punya, so to speak. That creates good karma, and through this good karma, you will have a better life. In the next life, you will have a better chance. Let's say you will not go down to a body of an animal or something like that. But it will not. Even good karma will also keep you here in the material world. If you want to get liberated, stop getting born over and over again. Getting born is very, very difficult thing, isn't it? It's painful. It's painful for the mother, it's painful for the child. That's why the child is crying when the child gets born. Can you imagine being pushed through a very, very small hole? The head gets squashed and everything. It's a very painful situation, but we get bored over and over and over and over again. Also, in this life, whether you're even a human or even an animal, you would still get diseased. You will get sick at some point, and then you will grow old. Especially very difficult for women to grow old, by the way. When they're young, you don't notice. It's very painful. It's painful. to become old, you know, if you're not Krishna consciousness, because, and then you die. And then you die, and then it get, you know, and then again. If you're lucky, you get a human body, and then you have to go through the birth again, okay, being squashed, and going through a very, very small hole, you know, and then crying, and then not being able to move. Just imagine, you know, you're a small child, you know, you cannot move. You know, there's each hair, you cannot scratch it, you cannot, you know, the small babies, you cannot scratch. That's why they cry so much, you know, these things are happening. Or they want to go, you know, they're wet, and the mother is, you know, not quick enough, and the baby just lives in this wet, no, never mind, I just don't want to, you know, not only wet, you know, there's something else as well, there's stool, you know, it gets itchy, burning. The child is suffering a lot, the little baby, and you cannot even say anything to anyone. You can only cry helplessly, you know. It's not, you see this, so I'm just not trying to say, you know, it's not good to have a baby or anything, but I'm just trying to bring your attention to, it's not fun, you know, being born over and over again, millions and millions of times, you know. And never mind the body, you know, and every body is particular. It's not easy to get born, and as I said, you get sick. Sometimes you get ill, you know, already a child is born and the child is so sick. From the beginning, you know, either covered with something, the skin is completely ruined, or have some terrible situation with the heart or with the lungs, or you wonder, why is God so bad? Is he cruel? Is Krishna bad? You know, he's just punishing a small, innocent child. You'd wonder. But no, of course, you know, it's a reincarnation. There's no innocent children. No innocent children, you know, unfortunately. That's another dream that I got smashed when I became Krishna Consciousness. No innocent children, you know, the babies, they get born with a particular karma already that gets saved in their mind. When they move to a different body, the mind, it's called causal body. I learned this in yoga when I was, before Krishna Consciousness, when I was studying yoga. I learned this, I was surprised, you know, when you move to a different body, when this body is shed, okay, the person, let's say, dies, the body is dead, it becomes matter, it completely gets decayed very, very quickly. But because the soul is pushed out, okay, your time, Paramatma in the heart knows, okay, your time is up, and the soul is being pushed out of the body. It's not nice, you know, and the person, that's why lots of people, yeah, they get so scared. That's why we're so afraid of death. Because, first of all, the soul never dies. It's a very uncomfortable situation for the soul to be dying, you know, to be pushed out of the body, and because the soul, you know, I'm used to this body, for example. I don't think I'll be very happy when I'm being pushed out. But I will be, just like all of you will be too. I'm sorry to say that, but you will be. And it's very unpleasant when the soul is being pushed out of the body. All the senses, one by one, they stop functioning. And the person gets confused, you know, like he wants to say something, but his tongue is no longer listening to him. You know, he wants to get up, or, you know, something, give me a hug, say something, cry. No, nothing like that. All the senses get confused. And it's also explained in Srimad Bhagavatam how, you know, the mucus gets accumulated here, and you want to say something, but God, you really can't. And anyway, I don't want to scare you, but I'm just saying, you know, it's better become Krishna Consciousness now. Better learn something. Better read Bhagavad-gita and try to figure it out for yourself, because the human life is so special. It's also explained in the Vedas everywhere that there's 8,400,000 species of life, and living souls go through all of them to achieve the body like us. It's a very special body, very special. Because in the human body, the consciousness is fully developed to understand God. Animals cannot understand God. They can do many things, they can understand, they can even speak sometimes if you train them, you know, but they cannot understand God. In any body that's a human body, that's the only body that we can understand God, that's why you're better off just trying to figure it out. Do not waste your time. Do not waste your time, because time goes so quickly. It's ridiculous how quickly the time goes. And just try to learn what you can now and figure it out. And that's my message to you today. Maybe somebody has questions. No? I'm shocked. There's no questions. No one wants to know.
What are the different forms of goodness? You just mentioned roughly, and we didn't care. Like we have the three modes of ignorance, passion, and the other one, goodness. What for charity also? You said there are different forms of charity.
Yeah, there's
Good deeds.
charity in the mode of goodness. There's charity in the mode of passion, and there's charity in the mode of...
Can you just give an
ignorance.
example to differentiate the three?
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, charity in the mode of goodness would be, let's say, what I said, like giving to the sick. But there's one caveat there, giving to the sick, let's say my hospital or whatever, or helping the suffering soul. But there's caveat there that you, let's say you don't know, like for example, I'm a vegetarian. Are you vegetarian?
Yes.
So let's say you give the money to the hospital, which seemingly, they help the people who die of cancer. But what they feed them meat, let's say. They could be feeding them beef, you don't know that. So that karma you share. So that's why, it's better off to give, because as I said, it could bring you good karma, or it could also bring you bad karma. The charity in the mode of passion, I actually have to revisit it. It's explained here. I'm sorry, I forgot. But I know, let's say and I remember this so clearly. I remember I was fasting, and this was actually in Moscow long time ago, maybe 20 years ago. And I was walking along a very busy street, and there was this person, like hobo, person who was completely alcoholic, and he looked very sad. And somehow we kind of, our eyes locked, And he was like, "Can you please give me something?" And I just thought, oh my God, he did not look good. He looked very, and not clean, and the stench was so not nice. So I passed by, and then for some reason, I felt so sad, I felt so pity. I actually walked back and I gave him €5 or something. I think he started to dance. He was so used. He probably never saw any euros in his life, but he was so happy. And it felt good, for me. And then, actually, when I read Bhagavad-gita, I just thought, no, it's not a charity, because you don't know this person. He will go and he will buy himself more drink, and then he may go and fight with somebody, and he can kill somebody. So I gave him the €5. He goes, buys a drink, goes, kills somebody, or kills himself, or I don't know. I share this karma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why it is the best, charity is the charity, in Krishna Consciousness. Because when you're doing that, you definitely know. Because also the best, the charity is the giving knowledge, the right knowledge about the body, that you are not this body, you are the soul, and there is the absolute truth there, and it's also in your heart. But everything that we read in the scriptures, that's the best charity. I'm sorry, for some reason I can't clearly explain, but they're explaining the charity in months. But I gave you some examples. That means I need to read Bhagavad-gita better. Yeah.
One more question.
Yes.
Usually we as it's understood that we should be compassionate to a person or an animal or something.
Yes.
But it could also mean that he is repaying back some karma he must have done in the past life, and he's getting that thing as a punishment, and he's supposed to learn that lesson. And if we interfere by doing compassion or by helping him, isn't it like he's not learned his lesson sufficient enough because we came in between and we helped us?
Yeah, no, I understand the question. Yeah, so the animals, they do not get new karma.
Okay.
They become like in the animal life, anything before human. It's only in the human body that you are actually building new karma. Anything before, any other body before, is just you're just ripping the fruits of your previous karma until you get to the human body. So when you do good for an animal, that's your good deed, you know. Animal is, yeah.
And is there anything mentioned in the scriptures where it guarantees that next birth is also a human if we do good karmas? Or does the circle of 84 lakh only starts again?
Yeah. Well, Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita that the paths of karma are very complicated. He said it himself. You can't figure it out. Like especially now in Kali Yuga. Well, in previous ages, it was quite clear, what you need to do in order, let's say, to become a king or even to become to heavenly planets. Let's say, as the example that I was talking to today about King Prithu is that Indra, the king of all the demigods, you need to do 100 Ashwamedha yagyas in your life as a human to get to that position, So it was very clear. But now, and also, sometimes there's so many stories in Srimad Bhagavatam where, let's say, Maharaj Nini, very interesting story. He did so yagi, very, very pious king, and he was collecting all these piles of good punya, of this good karma. But he ended up being a lizard. And why? Because he was such a good, they say there was not a patch of land on the whole earth where yagya wasn't performed. This how many yagyas he did. He was a very pious king. But he ended up in his next life as a lizard because he was giving away cows in thousands to brahmanas, to the priestly people, And it so happened somehow by mistake that one of the cow that he gave away to one brahmana, the cow walked into the house, into the garden, into the yard of another brahmana. And that other brahmana also got lots of cows from this king during the yagya. So then this brahmana discovered that his cow ended up in the brahmana. So he comes, they both come, and he thought he was trying to, okay, that's my cow. Anyway, those two brahmanas come to the king and say, what happened? Are you a pious king? Why are you giving me the cow and then you're taking it away? And then the king says, no, I didn't take it away. It was a mistake. But anyway, they cursed him King Nini was saying, please, I give you 10 cows or whatever, 1,000 to you and to you. Please don't fight over that. I'm so sorry. Although it wasn't his mistake, but he knew in those days the Brahmanas were very powerful. If they curse you, they curse you. This will happen. So anyway, those two Brahmanas, they said, no, we don't need. You're not pious king. You don't do things properly, and they cursed him, and to be a lizard in his next life. But then they felt pity to him, and they said, okay, but Krishna will, you will meet Krishna. And there's a story when Krishna kind of picks it up and releases him from his horrible body and everything. But so you see, you can't really, even the examples that I gave with Indra, you see, that's why Indra in that story that I talked earlier, that's why Indra was so jealous and did the things that he did, trying to steal the horse, because he thought that somebody else might take my post, Indra, because he's going to do 100 Ashwamedha yagyas, so he's entitled to become Indra, So you see, it's not a safe place anyway, it's just not. And you can't say, okay, I'll be doing this and that, and then I'll achieve this. No. There's so many parameters, and the ways of karma are very, very intricate, as Krishna explains it himself in Bhagavad-gita. I think we should stop now. Yeah? Yeah? Are we going to do Aarti? Are we ready to do Aarti? No, but, yeah? Yeah, okay, you're going to do it, yeah, Martin?
Sorry, I had the two questions.
Two questions. Oh, yes, please, okay, please. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Thank you for your attention. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Mataji, thank you very much for the lecture. You mentioned about the Bhagavad-gita.
Yes.
And today I'm going to present two Bhagavad-gita to two winners of the question I'm going to ask you. Okay? Are you all ready? Can you give me 5 names of Krishna? Now, they made 1 or 2 of them, I wouldn't know, but I have other people who will support me. I need you to give me 5 names of Krishna. You have to know all 5 of them, and you have to put your hands up, because I can't ask 10 people or 5 people. So put your hands up if you know the 5, and then if you are correct. You might say some of them that I wouldn't know, okay, but somebody else here will support me. 5 minutes for you to win the book.
So what do you want us to do? What do you want to do?
I think I can try, yeah.
Yes,
Hey.
yes.
Madhava,
Yes.
Govinda, Narayana, Vallabha.
So,
Vallabha. Vallabha.
yeah, okay, yes.
Um,
You have to speak loudly because I have the mic, you don't have the advantage of the mic, because I have mine. Okay, go ahead.
um,
He has hundreds of names. Krishna has hundreds of, yes?
Hari,
Hare.
Hari.
Hare, yeah, okay.
That's 5. That's 5.
Give me 5, okay. Okay,
And sorry,
thank you. I'm giving you this book.
I have the book.
You can come, yeah, come back.
Yeah, I can skip.
I'm
it
giving you
because
the
I
one
don't have a
condition.
copy here.
That you read at least 1 page a day,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Okay? You promise?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank
You're not promising me, you're promising Krishna. I'm going to say, please.
Thank you.
Is this your first time here?
Yeah, first time here.
Yeah. A few times, way back, some lady came for the first time and she won one of the books. So you won one of the first time. Good.
Thank you.
Good. Second question. This might be a little difficult, but I'll try to make it as easy as I can. Who was Vidura and why did Vidura come down? Who he was and why did he come down as Vidura? There are kind of 2 questions there, but I'll see, you should know the answer. If you read your Bhagavad-gita. So, who is Vidura? And why did Vidura come down as Vidura? I'm trying to ask.
Madhani wants, oh,
I
Madhani
know only the first half, Prabhuji.
No, you must give me the 2 for you to win. Sorry about that. Who knows? Anybody else? Madhavi, can you answer? No, okay. Sorry? Yes. Yes, that's one answer, but I need the second one for you to win the book. Does anybody know? You have to give me, yes, Mataji.
Well, maybe somebody else will know.
I know the half part and Madhuri and Madam was.
So that you toss coin to see who
No,
gets
no,
it.
you both have Gitas, you can give it to someone else. Because even I have a Bhagavad-gita at home.
Yeah.
Vidura was basically the mantri in the Mahabharata, and he was even cousin brother of Pandavas and Kauravas' fathers.
Yeah.
Like, if you get it, not Kauravas and Pandavas. Pandu, Dhritarashtra and Vidur, they were like brothers, cousin brothers.
Yeah, but
No cousin.
you said he was, what was he in his previous life?
No, that she said
He said
Yamaraj.
Yamaraj.
Yeah.
Very good. And then why did he come as Vidura to planet Earth?
To bring the Dharma.
Huh?
Dharma.
Dharma.
Dharma principles, he was always in the side of Dharma.
No, that's not the reason, that's not the answer I'm looking for. Can anybody enlighten, say more?
No, please go ahead.
I can answer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, long ago there was a sage, and he was very pious, but he was brought before Yamraj to suffer for his sins. But the sage said that I never committed any sin, and Yamraj replied that you did commit a sin when you were 7-year-old. You killed an ant. So the sage got furiated, and he just said that I committed that act out of ignorance, and I was child back then, and you don't know the true essence of dharma, and you are Yamraj himself. So so the sage then cursed Yamraj to be born as a Shudra. So that's why he was incarnated as a Vidura.
That's not the answer I'm looking for. Okay? Sorry, but that's not the answer. Does anybody know the answer? You don't know?
But can you give us a prompt? What do you mean? That was the reason, because he was cursed and then he came.
No. He came for one very important reason.
That's the cause, not the.
Anybody else in that row there? What about yourself? Giridhari? No? He's our expert. He came down. I don't know who I'm going to give the book to. So I might ask another question. Okay? He came down, Yamaraj came down as Vidura to see Krishna. That's the main reason. But he's Yamaraj, and then he came down to see Krishna. Okay? He had the opportunity of coming as Vidura to see Krishna. Okay? And so who am I going to give the book to? I'll have to ask Giridhari. Giridhari, who should I give the book to? Mataji here?
You take. No, we have, even I have, you can ask someone who wants it.
Another
Okay.
Another question from her.
I might ask. Mataji says, I should.
No, another question.
You want me to ask another question?
Yeah.
Oh, sure, no problem. Okay. Who was Putina in her previous life? I'm trying to keep it simple.
I know.
Okay. We give the people who are new a chance. Who was Putina in her previous life? Does anybody know? The question is open to all. There's no exception. Are you putting your hands up there? Oh, sorry. Say prayer. Who was Putina in her previous life? And there's a reason why he came as Putina. But we won't talk about the reason. Who was Putina in her previous life?
Mataji was.
Let's see if there are people
He's right.
who are coming for the first time and who have.
Yeah, who comes first time, let them answer.
If you put your hand up if you know the answer. They're not difficult questions I'm asking now. Okay? Anybody in the back row? No?
Mataji, you want to try?
Yes?
Right, it's okay.
Was she Ravan's sister? Sarpmukha?
Who's sister?
Ravan.
No. No. You have an idea, but you got the wrong
characters
answer.
are wrong.
No,
But you have
don't give clues. You will see somebody else. Anybody else? What is he? You? No? And because I want to know who I'm going to give the book to. That's why I asked the second other question.
I can answer, but you can give the book to one of these girls if they're interested.
All right, answer the question.
Putna, I think, was Raja Bali's sister from Vaman Avatar, and when she looked at Vaman Dev, she was very filled with motherly love, and she hoped that I could have such a child. But when he asked his boon of 3 legs, and the third one was put on Raja Bali's head, and he went down to Patal, then she was filled with hatred for him, and that is why she came back as Putna to kill Krishna. Is what I am aware of.
Yeah, you have the right idea,
Yeah.
but you don't have the right answer. You didn't give me that answer that I'm going to go.
Okay.
Maybe Hare will help us here. Anybody else?
Maybe she was Ratnamala, the daughter of Bali Maharaj. I'm not sure, but Ratnamala, daughter of Bali Maharaj. Putna.
Putna is the sister of Bali Maharaj.
Yeah.
No.
I don't
Therefore,
know daughter.
why-
The daughter, not the sister, the daughter, he says.
But it varies in the scriptures because, I have heard it as sister, but maybe some of the scriptures there might be a changes saying she's the daughter of Bali Maharaj. But maybe you're not looking for that answer.
No, it's a sister.
Yeah, I know it's a sister.
Okay, right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the reason why Putna came down is because Putna as Bali Maharaj's sister was not happy when Vamanadev came. She said, because he's so small, I'd like to suckle him.
Yeah.
And Krishna has given her the opportunity in a later life.
Yeah.
I'd like to suckle him like a baby.
Yeah, like
You understand?
breastfeed him, the
But-
child, yeah.
Yeah, but
Then
nobody said that.
she said, I didn't say it, but okay.
So
it's okay.
that's why.
Yeah.
But of course, she did come and she did suckle her, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
But-
And because Vaman Dev pushed Bali Maharaj down to Patalok, then she was filled with hatred, and then she had the thoughts of, like harming the wish that she had, and that is why she comes with the poisonous thing on her breast, and then she tries to kill Krishna.
You see, she got offended,
Yeah.
right? And she wanted to take revenge. And the way to take revenge is to join. And who? Join who?
Who? I didn't get your question.
Who sent Putna to Krishna?
Kansa.
Yeah, right, you got it. Okay? That's it. So I'm trying to keep the question simple so that everyone can get a chance to answer. What about you, my friend? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, all of you. Thank you. Every week
Balaji.
after the lecture,
No, I think he answered the question.
I have it down. I have put it.
anyway, you can decide.
He has Bhagavad-gita,
That's
if you
your
guys don't
problem,
have
not
it.
mine. Oh, yeah, sure.
Balaji can take it.
So every Sunday after the lecture, I ask you questions and I sponsor the books. Okay? That means you're getting from me for free. But you have to answer the question. Hare. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Gora Chande Aarti Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya
ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Prem se Kapoor Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki Vrindavan Dhama Ki Navadvip Dhama Ki Jagannath Kapuri Mayapur Dhama Ki Ganga Maya Ki Yamuna Maya Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Yamuna Devi Ki Tulsi Devi Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki all glories to the Son of the Lord. All glories to the Son of the Lord. All glories to the Son of the Lord. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Hare Hare. Thank you, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and for participating in this program. It's very, very nice. To those of you who are here for the first time, please welcome. Very nice to see you here. So I have a short announcement here about the project that you might have heard. Whoever hasn't heard, we're trying to build a beautiful, beautiful, big, lovely temple for Krishna here in Ireland, new one. So we are very, very close to buying the land. It's not a sale agreed. You can consider that we bought the land. Thank you so much for everybody for donating. And by Narasimha Chaturdashi, which is on the 30th of April, we will have it fully in our hands. The land will be ours.
Remove.
And it will. It's a very long journey, but a wonderful one, because we just saw so much enthusiasm for this. Also, as you know, we would like to also launch a cow protection here in Ireland for the first time. We do have a few cows in Inishrat, but they're not dairy cows. Unfortunately, they were too old already. So we'd like to build a nice area as well for cows, and we're going to have ahimsa milk, first time again in Ireland, as you know. That milk is beautiful milk that Ayurvedic is the top product for the human beings to consume. And also it creates this, it builds up a specific tissue in the brain, Srila Prabhupada explained it, that allows you to connect with God consciousness. So that's what we're going to do. As I said, by Narasimha Chaturdashi, 30th of April, we're going to have the land full in our hands. And it will take maybe another half a year, a little bit longer. By the end of the year, we should have the full plan approved by the government, by County Meath, that we can build and everything. So we're working with our architects and with lots and lots of different specialists. You have no idea how difficult it is to build something in Ireland. It's ridiculous, but there you go. So anyway, please, if you have any spare money to donate, please, these machines are here. You can use your phone, your credit card, anything. If you want to give cash, also welcome. There's another machine like that downstairs. Please donate, because seriously, I'm just telling you, even for archaeologists we have to pay. Because they say, they might have some, I don't know, old bones or something of some medieval people. No, I'm joking. There's a wishing well and everything. It's a holy land. That land that we are buying, there used to be a church there. It's very interesting, because we're actually not just going to build somewhere nowhere. It's a land that's been holy. People used to pray there, Christians. That kind of land. But because there's some wishing well or something like that, it's archaeology. We have to prove that there's no archaeological artifacts there. So we have to jump through the hoops, and every jump you have to pay. So that's why, please donate if you can. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you very much again. Hare Krishna.
Now we will have Nursing Aarti. So everybody.
Hare Krishna. Can we all sit down for the Narasimha Aarti? Namaste Narasimhaya. प्रसन्न देव भगवान की
जय
भक्त शिरोमणि श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की
जय
निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे
हरि हरि बोल
Yeah.
You notice go for everyone can go ahead for prasadam downstairs.